Brace yourself. You're about to feel something you've never experienced before. If you've been feeling disconnected, emotionally flat, or invisible lately, it's not just in your head. The energy of this upcoming May full moon is already stirring things up inside you before it's even fully arrived. And if you've felt like you're walking this path alone, like no one around you truly understands what you're sensing, you're not the only one. If that resonates, leave a comment. Someone else might be feeling the exact same way, reading these exact same words. If you've felt lost lately, like you've forgotten who you are, or as if your sense of purpose disappeared overnight, don't go anywhere. There's a deeper reason behind this, and I'm going to explain exactly why it's happening. But first, something is cracking open inside you, and the first sign is the urge to disappear. This moon will make you feel spiritually lost, and this is the clearest way it shows up. You're not running, you're resetting. Have you felt that pull to just vanish lately? To delete your socials without saying a word, cancel plans that used to matter, or even fantasize about packing up and moving to a place where no one knows your name. That urge isn't coming from fear, it's instinct. Something ancient is stirring under this full moon. Something that wants out of the role you've been playing. And here's the wild part. It's not about escaping, it's about clearing the stage, because this moon is stripping away everything that props up the identity you've outgrown, the image, the performance, the people who only know the version of you that used to feel true. Sometimes the soul has to disappear just to return as something unrecognizable. This isn't a breakdown, it's a setup. You're being pushed to step back, not to isolate, but to re-enter your life through a completely new doorway. You're not meant to return as who you were. You're meant to arrive as who you're becoming. So if your energy is pulling inward right now, trust it. If you're ghosting people, if you're suddenly uninterested in explaining yourself, that's not regression. That's a metamorphosis happening in silence. You're shedding the version of you that was made to survive, so you can become the one that was born to lead. And just as you start to disconnect, something shiny will try to pull you back in. Be careful. This is where it gets tricky, because right when you're finally clearing space, the universe might dangle something in front of you that looks perfect, an offer, a message, a person. Something you thought you were done with might circle back around, this time wearing a better outfit. Old paths might suddenly feel aligned again. You'll tell yourself, maybe it's different now. Maybe the timing is finally right. But that's the trap. This full moon is not just revealing things, it's disguising them. It's a master illusionist, a magician of timing. And the biggest illusions will show up just when you feel vulnerable enough to believe them. False clarity is the most dangerous kind. It feels like intuition, but it's really temptation dressed in truth. You might get that call from someone you swore you'd moved on from, and they'll sound different, gentler, more open, or maybe an opportunity pops up that seems to check every box. But deep down, something in your gut feels off. That's not overthinking. That's your real intuition trying to cut through the fog. This moon doesn't want to see if you'll say yes. It wants to see if you'll say no to the thing that looks like a shortcut, but would cost you your rebirth. So if something looks too good to be true right now, take a breath. You're not being tested on your desire. You're being tested on your discernment. This full moon is flipping your intuition from psychic to primal. So here's where it gets weird. Not emotional, not energetic, primal. This full moon is unlocking a strange, almost animal-like sense of detection. You'll smell people's intentions, not literally but close. You might hear someone speak and suddenly feel like their words stink, like there's rot underneath the smile. You'll walk into a space and feel a drop in temperature, but no one else notices it. Or a random smell will hit you, like smoke, metal, or even perfume. But there's nothing there. This isn't hallucination. It's not overthinking. It's your intuition leaving your mind and going straight into your nervous system. You're starting to feel the truth physically, not think it. And while it might make you want to withdraw or even question your sanity, don't. Your intuition didn't leave you. It's just switching languages. Have you noticed it? The usual signs. They're not landing. The synchronicities you used to spot in seconds now feel distant, muffled, or just plain off. Maybe you're pulling cards and they don't resonate. Maybe your gut used to scream yes or no, and now it's eerily silent. That crystal clear inner voice, gone. It's like the universe is whispering from the bottom of a pool, distorted, delayed, hard to grasp. But here's the truth. This isn't a spiritual failure. It's not a block. You're not broken. What you're feeling is signal recalibration. The channel you've been tuned into is shifting, and in the in-between, it's static. Don't confuse spiritual silence with abandonment. It's often the moment before a new language of guidance begins. This full moon is pulling your soul out of autopilot. The familiar signals are being temporarily unplugged, not to punish you, but to prepare you. Your guides, your inner voice, the signs you trust, they're not gone. They're just upgrading to match where you're going next. And this upgrade creates a weird illusion. Spiritual disconnection. You might start questioning everything, wondering if you made all this up, if you were ever even aligned to begin with. But this is just the cocoon phase of your intuition. Still, quiet, almost unsettling, and it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, letting go of the old way you receive truth. So don't panic if the messages aren't coming in clear. This isn't the end of your connection. It's the beginning of a new conversation. And speaking of things feeling off, do you remember when I said earlier that you might feel like you forgot who you are? Yeah, let's talk about that. You didn't lose your purpose. You outgrew the version of you that recognized it. Remember back at the beginning, when I said if you've been feeling like you forgot who you are, like your purpose vanished overnight, there's a reason. This is it. This full moon is triggering a massive identity recalibration. Not in the mind, not in your behavior, but in your spirit. You may feel like nothing fits, like your dreams feel hollow, like you woke up and the map you were following just erased itself overnight. People say, I feel lost. But it's not even that. It's more like nothing clicks. Not your routines, your goals, even your spiritual practices. It's like you've been unplugged from your own essence. But this isn't failure. It's not regression. What you're feeling is spiritual amnesia, a temporary forgetting designed by your soul to prepare for a deeper remembering. This full moon is acting like a memory wipe of your former identity, not because it was wrong, but because it's outdated. This is the space between stories, the pause before a complete rewrite. It's unsettling because you can't force clarity in this phase. You can't figure it out. You can only be still while the soul recalibrates. And it can get emotional. One minute you're nostalgic for a past that doesn't exist anymore. The next you're craving a future that hasn't arrived yet. You feel out of sync with everything, and that's because you're not supposed to sync with the old grid anymore. You're in limbo, but it's sacred limbo. This is where integration happens, where everything you've survived starts stitching into the new form of who you're becoming. It's uncomfortable, but it's not a mistake. Something has already agreed to help you, but you won't know what it is until it's too late to stop it. There's a strange hum under this full moon, a low, invisible current that feels like something just clicked. You might not know why, but you've probably felt it. That pull to be somewhere, do something, talk to someone, but without any logic behind it. It's not anxiety, it's not inspiration, it's a knowing without context. That's the handshake, and it's already happened. This full moon isn't just reflecting light, it's sealing agreements, not with words or contracts, but energetically, spiritually, behind the veil. Some of you made promises in dreams you don't remember. Others woke up with a new sense of responsibility they can't explain. You might feel like you've been volunteered for something without knowing what you signed up for. And that's not a bad thing, because what's unfolding isn't random. It's like a version of you in a parallel thread already said yes. And now, this you, here and now, is catching up to the consequences of that yes. That sudden need to reach out to someone, to quit something, to show up when you usually hide. It's not impulse, it's fulfillment. You're carrying out an agreement you didn't consciously make, but deeply aligned with. There are decisions your soul made that your mind hasn't caught up to yet. So if you've been feeling that sense of urgency, of being called or guided or tasked with something invisible, trust it. You're not imagining it. The moon already shook your hand. You don't escape the maze by mapping it. You escape by becoming still inside it. Right now, your mind wants a solution. It wants steps, patterns, answers. It wants something to do. But this full moon wasn't designed for doing. It was designed to dissolve. And that's where it gets uncomfortable. This energy doesn't want you to push through it. It wants you to vanish inside it, to lose the script you've been memorizing and let your identity unravel without resisting it. It wants to confuse the part of you that always needs to be in control, because that part can't come with you where you're going. So when nothing makes sense and your intuition feels like it's stopped working, don't rush to fix it. That silence you're hearing isn't absence, it's space, sacred, raw, unfamiliar space. The kind of space your spirit needs when it's about to stretch into something entirely unfamiliar. This isn't about finding your way out. This is about remembering who you are, without any waypoints. And that can feel terrifying if you're used to measuring your progress by clarity, direction, validation. But clarity isn't the tool here. Surrender is. And surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means staying. Staying in the disorientation long enough for the fog to shape itself into something new. Staying even when your logical mind is screaming that you're falling behind, that you've lost your spark, that you've messed something up. You haven't. You're in the womb of a new frequency, and it's meant to feel dark for a while. The real transformation doesn't happen in the breakthrough. It happens in the breakdown you don't interrupt, in the quiet collapse you let unfold, because deep down you know it's not death, it's preparation. And yes, you will feel the need to grasp for meaning. You'll want to light a candle, pull a card, read something, talk to someone. Anything to make the silence feel less threatening. But maybe this is the one time you don't reach outside yourself. Maybe this time you sit with the storm long enough to see what rises from within it. Sometimes the clarity you're waiting for can only be heard once you stop asking for it. So if everything feels muted, scattered, slow, let it be. Let it all fall out of rhythm. Let yourself disappear from the version of life you've outgrown. You're not broken. You're not off track. You're inside something sacred that doesn't need to be fixed, only felt. Let it swallow you, because it's not here to trap you. It's here to deliver you. You won't go back to how things were, and that's exactly the point. When the fog finally begins to lift, and it will, don't expect it to come with a big announcement. There won't be a revelation crashing through your ceiling, or a bolt of lightning making everything suddenly clear. It's more subtle than that, almost anticlimactic. You'll just notice that somehow you're breathing differently, existing differently. That strange tension you couldn't name is gone, not because it was solved, but because you no longer need it to make sense. You don't return to the old version of you. You don't wake up and slot back into the same rhythm, the same needs, the same way of making decisions. The patterns you once lived by feel too small now, like a costume that shrank in the wash. You might try to step back into them thinking, maybe this means it's all over, that you're back to normal. But the moment you do, it'll feel off, not wrong, just irrelevant. And that's how you'll know something real changed. This moon didn't bring clarity by showing you what you wanted to see. It brought clarity by quieting you until you could recognize what no longer had power over you. It didn't offer you answers. It taught you how to stop needing them. And when that quiet starts to settle in, not the numb kind, but the kind that feels rich and alive and full of weight, that's when the truth returns. Not as a voice, not as an epiphany, but as a soft gravity pulling you forward, without effort. You stop chasing signs, not because you gave up, but because you've become fluent in a language that no longer needs translation. You can sense what's right before it happens. You can feel when you're in alignment, even when nothing around you confirms it. People around you may still expect you to be who you were. They might notice that you speak differently, respond differently, that you don't react to things the way you used to. They may say you've changed, and you have, but not because you tried to. You simply got rewired in the dark. Thank you for staying with us until the end. I truly appreciate your time and attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your support means a lot. I'd love to hear your thoughts or experiences, so feel free to share them in the comments below. Until next time, take care and stay tuned for more meaningful content.